What's going on, guys? Dr. Andrew Fix back here for another episode on the code, and I'm joining you guys from the comfort of my Nissan Pathfinder again today. And before we hop right into this, I just want to thank you guys for spending your time with us here on the code. However you're tuning in and listening, we really appreciate it. Whether this is your first episode, that you have joined for, or if you've listened to a bunch of these, we really appreciate your time. So let's jump right into it. I had brought some notes on this, but I had written some notes, but I left them at home. And what I want to talk about is I listen to a lot of sports radio, right? Just because I enjoy sports. I'm listening to ESPN since I live in a city in the Denver area that is not where my sports fandom originated. So I'm a fan of all these Wisconsin sports teams. So I tend to listen to national radio as opposed to the local stuff here in town. And ESPN has been running a commercial or a series of commercials, I guess, with Toyota. Toyota's been a sponsor there. And one that I heard recently, I really want to unpack it just a little bit. And Toyota recently, during, I think, January, started running this new You Can't Stop My Drive campaign. And from what I understand, this campaign, one, I think it's awesome. So what I'm not doing is I'm not bashing their advertising or the campaign they have going on. In fact, quite the opposite. But You Can't Stop My Drive, this is a campaign where Toyota is trying to market to, appeal to, and reconnect with particularly the younger generation, but specifically the generation of Black males. And they're using people like, for example, Damian Lillard. He's a basketball player. He's a guard on the Milwaukee Bucks, and he's been in the league for a long time. He's a very, very good player, and he's pretty prominent in the sports world. So they're using him and a few other well-known, well-respected people as the voice narrating these commercials and things as part of their campaign to try and reconnect with this population of people. And there's a commercial that keeps airing on ESPN that talks about, and he's not the one narrating this particular one, but it uses him as an example and how he's a leader. He doesn't wait for the baton to get passed to him. He takes it himself, and he's not apologizing for the things and the goals and the aspirations that he has, and he's going to work towards those. And while largely I think this is phenomenal and I think this message is great, the part that I found interesting is they say in this commercial, take Damian Lillard, for example. He doesn't seek mentorship or guidance. He's a leader. He blah, 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 blah. And it carries on, right? And I just kept hearing this commercial over and over. And I kept wondering if I was mishearing it because it said he's a leader. He doesn't seek mentorship or guidance. And that's the part that I want to unpack and kind of push back on a little bit. While I think the campaign that Toyota has going on is wonderful, I also think seeking mentorship and guidance is wonderful and necessary. And Damian Lillard, as the example, the basketball player, would be the first one to tell us all that he probably has sought out tons of mentorship and guidance in his life to help him get to the point where he is today, especially in the athletic arena, right? He's obviously got a coach, and he's had coaches all the way through his career, from when he was a kid all the way up to now as a professional athlete. He's got shooting coaches. He's probably got a nutrition coach. He's probably got someone like myself, a physical therapist or a rehab professional who's like on his team all the time, helping him stay healthy. He's got an agent, right? Someone who manages his lifestyle that he seeks guidance for or guidance from to help manage his affairs and everything. So this concept of like someone being a leader, and that means they don't seek mentorship or guidance, that's completely misconstrued or misinterpreted. That's completely false, right? And we know that one of the most efficient ways to help us get to where we want to go is to seek the mentorship and guidance of those that are already in the place that we want to be, right? Those that are already where we want to be. And we've talked about on this show, like surrounding yourself with the people that you want to soak up knowledge from, and that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time around. Well, if you want to up-level yourself and you want to increase your average, you want to spend the time around those people, around the people that are where you want to be, because then you're going to soak up knowledge and information from them. You act like a sponge, and you're going to be closer to where you want to be. So I encourage all of you guys that are listening to this, in whatever area of your life that you want to improve, you need to find a guide, find a mentor. To use the example of what we do at Physio Room, that could be somebody going through a journey and they're dealing with back pain, they're dealing with knee pain, they're dealing with something that they're struggling to get through. Get some help, right? Like, it is okay to ask for help. In fact, I'm sure Damian Lillard or anyone else like that is in a very successful situation, like the people they're talking about in this commercial, I'm sure they would encourage the same thing. I'm sure they would say, yes, it's okay to ask for help. You should ask for help. Now, what that doesn't mean is that you should expect other people to do things for you, right? You need to ask for help. You need to be willing to take the step out of your comfort zone to do that. And then you need to be willing to put in the work to take the information that they may share with you and now put it into action and use it, right? They can't help you if you're not willing and wanting to be helped. And a lot of people will ask for help, but they're not really wanting to put in the work. They're asking for help. They're wanting you to help them get 90% of the way there, where they can just then cross the finish line. And that's not what we're talking about in this conversation. We're talking about, if you want to get to a place and you want to speed up the process, if you want to get to a place where you're at a certain point in your business life, in your work life, in your athletic life, in your fitness, in your health, whatever category it is, in your relationships, seeking out the mentorship, seeking out the guidance from somebody is going to help you get there faster. Seeking out the help of a coach, right? And even coaches need coaches. And any really good one is going to tell you that, right? Get a coach, speed up the process to help you get to where you want to go. Get a therapist, help you speed up the process to feel how you want to feel, to get back to the activities you want to get back to the mental place, or get to a new mental place that you want to get back to, if that's the type of therapist we're talking about. And it's just, this commercial kept coming on over and over and over again. And I kept hearing this phrase, he doesn't seek mentorship or guidance. He's a leader. He's a savant, et cetera, et cetera. And, a savant is someone who is extremely skilled or talented in a particular area, but usually that same person is lacking in other areas of their life, right? They're very skilled, naturally gifted in one area, but they're lacking in other areas. And that would also be a great opportunity for guidance or mentorship in those other areas that you're not a savant, that you're not far above the mean in terms of like your skill or your capabilities, but we can be more well-rounded. We can balance out those other areas too. So, this is just my permission to you here on this conversation to seek out the mentorship, seek out the guidance, go ask for help, and be willing to put in the work, be willing to listen, and then take the pieces that that person gives you, take the nuggets that they provide you, and put them into action. Don't be so stubborn and so like hard-headed to say like, no, I need to forge my own path. I need to do this my way. I need to go through the trials and tribulations to get there, which you do, but that, sometimes that comes at the expense of, it just took you longer to get there when you could have got to the same place much sooner, and then eventually wound up in a far better place if you just would have invested in the time, the money, the whatever, invested the resources in getting the assistance, getting the coach to help you get there and accelerate the process. So here's to all of us accelerating the process to get to where we want to go, so that we can, reach the goals and dreams that we have set for ourselves. Hopefully you found some value in this conversation. Maybe you'll go hear that Toyota commercial now and you'll pick out those words like I did. And I just really appreciate, again, all you guys tuning in to listen to this episode of The Code. If you've never left a review, please go do that now. You can imagine how those make a big difference, getting these conversations in front of more and more people. And until next time, again, Dr. Andrew Fix signing off. See you guys later.